Good afternoon, everyone, and it's once again Ted the Speed Learner, and I'm going to talk about computer terms that you may not know. Now, I know there's probably some kids out there saying, oh yeah, I know every computer term in the world. Really? I'm going to put that to the test. We're going to find out right now if you really do or don't. First of all, a lot of people have a real problem finding a web browser, and that's because they're not used to icons. An icon is a pictorial representation of something else. An example of that is if you go to the grocery store and you see a picture of a banana, then probably somewhere along the line there will be real bananas near that picture. Not always, but there should be. Same type of deal here. What we're wanting to do is we're wanting to open up the Internet Explorer web browser. Okay, now how do you do this? Well, you find the E icon. This is the E icon right up here. Now, why is it shaped like that? Well, when they created Internet Explorer, they wanted something that was shaped like the world. Well, the closest thing shaped like the world in the alphabet is the letter E, the lowercase e. So, if you click on the lowercase e, you double click it, you will open up a web browser window like this. Okay? And this is a web browser window right here. All web browser windows have an address bar, and a lot of them will have toolbars. I happen to have the Google toolbar. Yahoo is a real good toolbar to have. Also, Microsoft is a real good toolbar to have. I will say, though, do be cautious. Some toolbars are very dangerous. They can either harm your computer or they contain spyware, which in turn can gather information that you don't want people to know. So I wouldn't just download every single toolbar that's out there. Besides, they start lining up your computer right across here, and then you don't see the browser window itself. Okay? And you don't want that. So if you're going to have toolbars, the ones I would recommend are Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft. Now, personally, I have no use for Microsoft, but that's just my personal preference. Yahoo, it's okay to have, but like I said, again, personal preference. I just don't want it. Okay? Now, in modern web browsers, they have tabs. This is one tab. You can actually open up different web pages using these tabs. And this is a wonderful feature of web browsers. Woohoo! Okay, now, I happen to have the Google toolbar, and Google is a search engine. Okay, so you can actually look up things with Google. Now, since I have the Google toolbar, I don't have to go to the official Google website, which this is the Google website right here. I could go to it, or I could just use their handy toolbar, and I can start typing keywords into the Google toolbar. Now, keep in mind that keywords, I covered keywords in a previous video, and keywords that are matched with tags on web pages, on videos, that kind of thing, if keywords and tags match, they will come up with a search result, and then you can click whatever hyperlink you want. For example, if I typed in the keyword Speed Learner into the Google toolbar and clicked the search button, then my YouTube Speed Learner channel's hyperlink, you see this hyperlink right here? Now, I covered hyperlinks in a previous video, but you can see this is the YouTube Speed Learner's channel. That's my YouTube channel. You can actually click this with the mouse. As you'll notice, if you hover over a hyperlink with the mouse, the mouse hand, the mouse will change from a pointer arrow to a hand. You click that, and it takes you to my channel. Ta-da-da-da-da-da! Okay, now let's talk about some other things, shall we? Now I'm going to get rid of all this here. Now, I talked about highlighting text in a previous video, but one of the things I did not talk about was number one, in all Microsoft operating systems, whether it be 95, 98, Windows Millennium, if you have Windows XP, if you have Windows Vista, or even Windows 7, you will have a program called Notepad. Often you will also have a program called WordPad as well. Now, these are word processing programs. This is a place where you would type letters or you would type documents or that kind of thing. Now, one of the nice features about WordPad, Notepad, Microsoft Word 2000 whatever, and most other word processing programs is they have something called Wordwrap. What is Wordwrap? Okay. If I were to type text, and I'm going to bring this over here, if I were to type text all the way to the end of the screen, the computer will automatically send you to the next line. You don't have to hit enter every time you want to go to the next line. This will just send it down there for you. However, if you're wanting to go to the next paragraph, you will hit enter. Okay? So if you want to go to the next paragraph, you hit enter, but if you don't want to go to the next paragraph, all you have to do is just keep typing and the computer will automatically send you to the next line. Alright. Now, let's talk about another neat little feature. And this is called the Numeric Keypad. You see this Numeric Keypad right across here? Okay. Now, this thing has a thing here called the num lock. If you hit the num lock, this light here will turn off. If you hit the num lock again, this light here will turn on. Now what's the difference? Okay, when the light is on, see the light is on right now, you can type in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they'll appear on the screen. But what happens if you turn the num lock off? We're going to turn it off now. As you can see, we turned it off. Lights off. Now you type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you'll never see them. Those numbers aren't there. And that's because the functions of these keys changes from the numbers to page down, page up, home, end, and arrows. This can act like your cursor, your mouse. It can actually act like your mouse. Alright? Now, I'm going to turn the num lock back on. Now, this over here is a backslash, and this over here, now right above the enter key is a forward slash, and right over here up to the left of the shift button, right underneath the question mark, is the backslash. This is very important to know if you're doing web addresses because they'll tell you backslashes and forward slashes. Forward slash is above the enter, backslash is right next to the shift button, and right above the question, see? Backslash and question, alright, and you can find the backslash over here. Now what about this asterisk right over here? Now asterisk represents multiplication on a computer. Computers do not understand the X as being multiplication. They were programmed that way. So you use that instead to represent multiplication. Now, if you hold down the control button and hold down the alt button and press this button right here, you will create the EM dash. Now I covered EM dash in a previous video. You need to watch that. Whew. I know that's a lot of terms right there. But anyway, you're finally getting this. WordPad, Notepad, Microsoft Word, and there are other programs out there where you can type documents and letters. They are called, okay, get ready for this, they are called word processing programs. Okay, and you can access those from this little icon. Now this looks like a globe with the Microsoft seal in it. This is called the Start button. And you can click that Start button and you can access all kinds of programs. You can even shut down your computer once you click that Start button. Alright, now there are different web browsers out there. I'll click this over here. There are different web browsers out there. One is called Opera, one is called Internet Explorer, one is called Firefox. They basically run the same way, although there are some differences between them, but you can decide what differences you like whenever you want. Alright? But anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say at this point, except I will tell you about one last thing. All web browsers and all Windows and Microsoft Windows have these three little buttons up here. This little dash right here is called the minimize button. This Sometimes it's a double square, sometimes it's a single square. This is called the resize button, and this red X right over here is called the close button. And we're going to close this out right here. And no, we don't want to save. And ta-da, it's all gone. Alright. Now, there is one other thing on a web browser you will see, and it's called the refresh. Alright? Now, if you have a local radar, and I'm going to go ahead and type this in. Hang on. You can actually go to www.weather.gov. .gov is a government website. Okay, we're going to use the backslash here. We're going to type in Lincoln. Why am I typing Lincoln? Because I live close to Lincoln, Illinois. Alright, we hit enter. And we can go down here to the radar. And this is the local radar here. Now, if I were to click the refresh button, which is this circle with an arrow, you'll see way up here, you see this circle with an arrow right across here? That's the refresh. And if you click that, say at every 10-minute intervals, this picture right here will change. The storms will be a little further to the east, a little further to the east, so on and so forth. And that's why you have the refresh button. Sometimes when it comes to auctions, you're on an eBay auction, you can hit the refresh button and you can see who's bidding what on whatever item you're trying to bid on. See why you have to have a refresh button? There you go. Let's say you're typing some information into a web page, and all of a sudden you decide that all that information is wrong. You can actually hit the refresh button. It'll clear out all your little boxes, and you can start all over again. Okay, I think I've pretty much covered most of the terms on here. The little magnifying glass up here, you can see there's a little magnifying glass. That represents search. You can actually use this address bar as a search bar if you want to. That would use the Microsoft search engine, not Google. Alright. And over here you see the big X. If you click the X, I believe, if I recall correctly, this web page will disappear. Click the X. Maybe not. Okay, forget about that X. Just forget it. Okay, I'm not sure why they have the X there. They shouldn't, but they do. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and click this off, and that's all I got to say for today. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.